In this demo, we will look into what we have to keep in mind when validating during a patch operation. Let's send a patch operation that will remove the description, effectively setting it to null. We get back a 204 no content, so this seemed to just have worked. Let's get this course to see if that was effectively the case. And it indeed was the case. The description has been set to null. However, that is not what we want. As you remember, a course without the description is not valid when updating. Let's see how we can fix that. We're looking at our patch implementation here. The issue is that the input is a JSON patch document and not a course for update DTO. Inside of this action, we apply the patch document to a course for update DTO. But after that, there is no automatic validation of the type we apply the patch to. There is automatic validation of what is inputted, which is the JSON patch document, but there is no automatic validation of the course after we have applied the patch document. And that means that we must manually validate that course for update DTO after the patch document has been applied to it to see if it is still valid. If it isn't, we shouldn't map or send it to the repository. To do that, we can use the try validate model helper method defined on the underlying controller base. We pass through the patched course. This triggers validation of our model, and any errors will automatically end up in the model state. If that model state is invalid, try validate model returns true. So we can surround it with an if statement, and if it evaluates to false, we know we need to return something. As we're working with the validation problem detail standard, we can use the validation problem method for that, passing through the model state. Alright, let's try that again. Let's send our previously sent request. And there we go, validation is now working again. But this is not everything that can go wrong. What we did now is related to the patched course. So that's one piece of validation we inputted. The other piece of validation that happens is on the JSON patch document itself that is inputted. However, there is yet another thing to keep in mind. This JSON patch document can be syntactically correct, but semantically wrong. For example, in the JSON patch document, we could ask to remove a property that doesn't exist. I've got such a request lined up here. Let's send it. And this results in an exception. So this does not go through, and that's okay. But it is not exactly correct either. This is still a mistake the client made, so it should result in a level 400 error, not in a 500 internal server error. Let's switch back to our action. How can we handle this? Well, we can ensure that validation issues like these end up in the model state as well, by passing through the model state to the apply to method. Afterwards, the existing check that we have in place will take care of returning this error if the model state is invalid. Try validate model returns false if the model state is invalid. So if the apply to method already made the model state invalid, it will also return true. Let's give this a try. Let's send this request again. And there we go. This time the validation issue ends up in the response body and we get back a 400 bad request. Yet that doesn't look right. This is more or less a default validation problem response. It does not take into account how we configured it previously. Not all the details that we want are in here, like the type which is missing. Also, we get back a 400 bad request, while we previously wrote code to ensure that we get back a 422. Let's learn how we can improve this in the next demo.